Because we get along so fabulously and you're listening to this podcast episode, I'm guessing that you like to use whole foods to help heal your body and use them in conjunction with your supplementation to get the best results. And you might be wondering how you can do this with electrolytes and what foods contain electrolytes so that you can both supplement with them as well as make sure that your diet is loaded with them. So the first supplement I want to focus on is sodium. Now, sodium has a bad reputation for causing health problems, but this is completely different on the ketogenic diet. When excess water is dumped from the kidneys, which happens on keto, electrolytes like sodium go along with it. So you want to replenish sodium by adding salt to your water and food or by regularly drinking bone broth. The second electrolyte is potassium, and potassium is important for maintaining healthy blood pressure levels, regulating heart rate, and ensuring proper fluid balance in the body. Whole food sources that contain an adequate amount of potassium include things like salmon, nuts, avocados, leafy green veggies, and mushrooms. Third electrolyte is calcium. You can get calcium from dairy foods, leafy greens, broccoli, fish, and even non-dairy unsweetened milks like almond and coconut milk. The last electrolyte, number 4, is magnesium. So magnesium helps the body maintain a healthy immune system, normal heart rhythm, proper nerve and muscle function, and many other biochemical reactions. Leafy greens and nuts have magnesium, but you may need to supplement as well. Around 500 milligrams per day is sufficient for most people. So if you're looking for an electrolyte powder in conjunction with all of the electrolyte-rich foods you're eating, head on over to perfectketo.com/KDP10. This is my very favorite electrolyte powder because it doesn't have fillers or funky ingredients. And you can get $10 off when you go to perfectketo.com/KDP10. Also, you can use the coupon code KDP10 for that $10 off. Now, this offer is available from October 1st to 31st, 2018. So if you're listening to this episode way beyond those dates, you can use the coupon code HEALTHFUL, all in caps, for 15% off your entire order. Welcome to the Keto Diet Podcast, the show all about keto for women so you can burn fat, balance your hormones, and heal your body. Starting and maintaining keto can be challenging without the right support. So just for listening to the podcast, I want to give you 20% off the keto beginning with the coupon code Keto Podcast. That's all one word. This 30-day program gives you a clear step-by-step how-to so you can quickly adapt to a ketogenic diet, avoid common struggles, and get the results you crave. Go to healthfulpursuit.com/begin to get your keto beginning discount today. If you're new around these parts, I'm Leanne Vogel. You may know me as the international best-selling author of The Keto Diet, founder of happyketobody.com, or maybe you know me as the nutritionist that likes dipping pork rinds in avocado oil mayo. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Thanks so much for listening. Okay, let's get this party started. Hey guys, it's Leanne from Healthful Pursuit, and this is another mini-sode of the Keto Diet Podcast. You can grab today's podcast extras by heading to healthfulpursuit.com/podcast/X19. And today I'm chatting with Kevin.
Who what?
Who's Kevin? That's my husband.
I didn't know. I was tricked into being on here.
No, you weren't.
I know.
You got an email about it like 2 months ago.
I know something about a love anniversary. And it's like this mysterious thing to a lot of people.
So we thought it would be fun to just like have Kevin on and chat about our love anniversary. And a lot of people don't know what this is. So Kevin, this is something you created. So why don't you tell everyone what a love anniversary is?
Well, okay. Well, it is when you tell somebody for the first time you love them. And they say, I love you back. I think that's fair. It needs to be both two-sided.
Was ours two-sided?
I'm sure it was. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a love anniversary. But our relationship has gone through so many stages. So we've only been married for a couple of years. That's lame. We've been together for like 10 years. And that's better. But we haven't been married for 10 years. But then you can add a few more weeks or months on top of that. But love anniversary
makes it feel more serious.
Yeah.
Like,
especially early on.
Yeah, totally. I love that. So that's what a love anniversary is. And how did we meet? Okay, I want you to tell the story because it's not totally actually how it happened. So why don't you go ahead and tell the full story?
No, that's totally how it went. We met at work, and I guess it all started. Can't remember what book I was reading, but it was about. It might have been a Malcolm Gladwell book where he was talking about heights of successful people. Anyway, I was reading that book, and I came out of my office to get some more coffee. I wasn't reading at work, but I had it on my mind. And I saw Leanne there, and Leanne is very tall compared to me because I'm short. So I was disappointed because, according to this book, I would never be successful because I'm a short guy. But anyway, so I saw Leanne, and I'm like, hey, did you know that tall people are more successful or, have a higher percentage of being more successful? And for some reason, Leanne thought that was like a line.
Yeah, it totally was a line. Okay, ladies, it was totally a line, right? Like that was totally. Do you know tall people are more successful in business?
That'd be the lamest line ever.
That's what I thought. Like, does that work on all the girls?
Yeah, even the really short ones.
Amazing. So, then we went out for tea, and I refused to pick you up. I made you walk there.
That's very nice. Thankfully, I was only like an hour walk away from there. So I had to walk
like
negative 40.
It wasn't. It was like negative 10. And you chose not to wear a jacket. And we had tea, and it was really nice. And then you started coming over every Friday just to hang out. And we weren't serious. Like, I was seeing other people. You know that. Don't give me the face. And he just kind of like grew on me. You were very persistent.
Well, I also didn't really know anybody in Calgary. I guess I'm very particular about my friends. And we got along really well. And we, at that time, I was trying to figure out wine and what kind of wine I liked. And I did a whole bunch of research about wines and bought expensive wines. And I thought I could share that with you. And that's kind of how we started as well before
Got
keto.
Drunk every Friday.
Well, yeah, you did. It doesn't take much.
Sure did. And then on October 18th, you told me you loved me.
Aw, that's the love anniversary.
Yeah. And I mean, we'd only known each other. We'd only hung out like maybe 6 times. And we weren't dating.
Leanne's memory is very fuzzy around that period.
But we weren't dating.
No, we weren't dating.
You just told me you loved me. I don't remember saying I love you back, did I?
No, I don't think it's a love anniversary then. Maybe we need to cancel the whole love anniversary then.
No. Okay, I love you.
Okay.
Okay, so we then fast forward a bunch of years through like you moving into the condo and us getting Lexi and then us getting Pebbles so that Lexi wouldn't eat my shoes and she could eat her sister instead.
Wait, we got Pebbles because you wanted a lap dog.
Well, also so that
it turned out that Lexi was a lap dog.
And then, moving to Airdrie, moving to Montreal, and then we got married. I don't know. It was kind of like because you had gotten a job in the U.S. at the time, and we wanted to move down there, and we were told that it'd be a lot easier if we were married. And so that kind of started the whole thing about us wanting to get married. I mean, I knew pretty quickly, like, January the following year, we had been dating for maybe like a month, and I knew I wanted to marry you.
Leanne wanted to get married like a week after.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, "What?
Why are we waiting? I know you're the one.
I've known you for 2 weeks. Now let's get married,
man. Let's do this."
Marriage, I guess, at that time, and it probably still wasn't really that important because we had been together for such a long time, and we had built a house already. We have dogs. Have dogs at the time. And I just knew that getting married would involve us spending a whole bunch of money and involve a whole bunch of stress. So.
But then we got married because we needed to get married to move. And it
was a really pretty wedding. Like, it was really great.
Yeah. But would you do it again?
No, not like that.
Yeah, same. I think.
My original plan my original proposal was that we'd get a helicopter or 2, fly up to a mountain and get married up there. But then a whole bunch of family needed to be there, and then that just wouldn't have worked out. So.
And like, we so should have done that.
Yeah.
It would have saved so much money, and it would have been so cool.
Yeah.
So maybe on our like 20th love anniversary, we could do that or something.
Was this before or after we took the helicopter ride? And
that was before. Like, we took the helicopter ride after we were married and everything.
Yeah.
And it was so cool. Yeah. And then even when we were on top of the mountain, it's like, dang, we should have got married up here.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, there's that. Where did we get married? We got married at the Heritage House in Calgary. What's it called? The Heritage House?
Isn't it the Lougheed House?
The Lougheed House.
Lougheed House.
Yeah.
Lougheed House.
We'll include a link to the post because we wrote a blog post way back then. Was it 2013 we got married?
Who knows?
I'll include a link to the post. It has like pictures of our wedding and there's snow and it's cute. Does Kevin eat keto, and how was the dietary transition handled as a unit? This was asked on Instagram.
So right this moment, I'm not eating keto, but that's because my doctor, aka Leanne, I have pretty high mercury right now. So we're just working through getting my mercury levels down, and then I'm going to go back eating keto because keto is pretty awesome. It makes me feel really good. Transition, I think the transition was pretty easy. I think this is more about trying it because I thought it was going to be a lot worse and harder to get away from the carbs. But then once I started eating keto, I just didn't have those cravings for the carbohydrates anymore. And then it was actually pretty easy. And then I thought back, I'm like, whoa, I should have done this sooner.
Yeah. So it took you like 2 years.
To try
From
it.
the time I started keto to the time you did, it was like 2 years.
I didn't really see a need to.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you tried it on and off, but you're like, I miss bread. And then you started eating bread again. But then you did keto, and then now you don't eat any bread.
Yeah.
Like, even though you're not eating keto, you still eat pretty high fat and low carb. It's just not like hardcore keto because you can't right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question from Instagram peeps. I'm curious to know how your relationship has evolved over the years as your self-love worth grew. The years where the eating disorder was still present, how did that affect the marriage? How do you both feel about those years looking back now that you are in a much healthier mind and body place? Asking as somebody who has entered recovery while being married.
I think there's a lot more transparency now because I think the eating disorder, even though I knew about it, was still maybe a secret in many ways.
So many ways.
Yeah. So I think with that out of the way, and maybe an eating disorder is, and I don't know, I've never had an eating disorder and I've never been an alcoholic either, but maybe it's kind of like being an alcoholic where even though you don't drink anymore, it's always kind of lingering or you know that it could be there. So I think maybe...
Because it's like you're always surrounded by alcohol, you're always surrounded by food. Yeah, it's constant.
It's a reminder. Yeah, even if it's long past, it's still a reminder that, because I mean, is it an illness?
Yeah, mental illness.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, I mean, I think usually the hard things in life, I guess, make or break a relationship, maybe.
But you knew, like, I was pretty open with you. I think the first time you came over, I was like, yo, I have an eating disorder and I don't want it to change, so you're just going to have to deal with that. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember it like that.
Oh, okay. So I was pretty set in my ways. I didn't really want to change.
I don't think you told me.
Really?
Yeah, I think it came out over time. And I mean, maybe I had, maybe I knew, but
yeah, maybe I more had that attitude of like, I see no problem with this. I've functioned quite fine with it, so just leave me alone about it.
But I think with all of those things as a partner, okay, I mean, maybe this is not really on topic, but as a partner, if you see a problem like an addiction of some sort, I think going in there with a machete and trying to, force change as fast as possible or try to be like the hero would never work.
Yeah.
I think it's a gradual thing where trust needs to be built and then little steps, small steps, so.
But you've never tried to fix that. Like, you were just always there and you really tried to understand and you were really tried to be supportive. And then when I came to you with the idea of like, I'm going to stop caring about my weight, you were like, cool. Like, you didn't care.
But that's how I wanted to. I think that was my approach to fix it, and that approach was how would work for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's not that I fixed it. I was just there. I mean, I don't think it's you that fixed it. I think it's a partner is only ever there to support and be there.
Yeah,
I don't think another person can ever fix another person's, struggle.
Do you think that our relationship has changed since all of that?
I don't know. I don't think so. I would say my gut says no. I think it has evolved.
Yeah.
But
I don't feel like it's any different.
No. We still have the same values, and I think that's the most important thing for us. I mean, we share the same values when it comes to, what we like, what we don't like, and what we think is right and what we think is wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe we're both very logical people.
Try to be. Sometimes I'm very illogical.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so next question is, how do we get past being critical of each other's food choices? I don't think I've ever been critical of your food choices. There was a period of time where sometimes I comment on do you actually want to eat dinner instead of eating out of a bag? I do that because I just want to make sure you're
But that's not critical.
No, I'm just
it's not that you judged what I ate. It's just that you said, hey, maybe it'd be better. You'd feel better if you were eat this dinner as opposed to a Kit Kat bar or whatever. Yeah,
I mean, you've always been super careful with what you say to me when it comes to food. You don't comment on what I eat ever.
That is true.
Ever. That is the cardinal rule. Yeah, you don't. So I don't think that question really...
I think it's a really good question.
Yeah, totally.
And I think it's also really interesting for us to think about these questions.
And critical of each other's choices. She said food, etc. Critical of each other's choices. Other choices? I mean, I'm a woman and I'm a wife, so I'm critical of everything my husband does.
My wife is very critical of me, and not anymore, but of buying things like tools and things. She's like, you don't need that.
Did you really need that?
And, things like that. I think she was critical of that.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I definitely was.
Yeah. But I think that's it. Food is never...
No, food never. No. Your work, never.
Also, I mean, it wasn't that... because Leanne kind of helped me with the whole dairy, not eating as much dairy, and then, not eating any dairy. I don't really have many choices. I never went to fast food restaurants or anything like that. So it wasn't that Leanne could be, hey, stop eating fast food. It was more, yeah. So I don't think. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. How are you carving out me time while living in tight quarters? I sometimes feel like I'm cheating my spouse of couples time if he's home and I want to do something solo. We suck at this. Don't you think? I mean, I have me time when I go to appointments or get out of the house or go to Starbucks and work or do yoga in the morning and you have me time when you go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
I would say we suck at us time.
Yeah, I think we suck at us time more than we suck at me time.
Yeah, we suck at us time.
Because we can just put on our headphones and kind of do, I don't know, I can learn something new on the internet and Leanne can...
Not talk to you while you're doing that? I think I'm not very good at giving you your space when you want to do stuff. Because if I want to do stuff, I'll just interrupt you.
Yeah, I guess it's hard because over the last few months, things have been so different that we kind of need to look back further.
Yeah. I mean, in the house, it was easy. But in the RV, we got into a groove. And now with the boat, it's I don't think we have a groove yet. And we're totally flailing all over the place. I don't think we have a groove at all yet.
Oh, there's just so much to do. I gotta switch the oil. I guess clean the fuel filter. I gotta do a whole bunch of things.
Switch the water filter.
The water filter. So it's a pretty big to-do list. So right now we're just trying to get through that, but I'm sure then after that we'll try to figure out how me time and you time
and us time
works.
Yeah, because that's a huge challenge for us.
Mind you, the act of sailing is us time.
Yeah,
it really is. Unless I get sick and throw up.
All over every time, every moment.
No, I don't throw up all over. I throw up.
You're really good at it. Yeah. I would just throw up on myself. Yeah. Okay, how do you help each other out of dark places? For example, if one of you was feeling depressed, how do you hold space and help that person?
I don't. Leanne can probably elaborate or maybe correct me. I can only maybe remember once or twice in my life where I was in a dark space like that, actually depressed. I think sometimes things get difficult, but I don't get depressed. Yeah, no.
I think I overwhelm you a lot. I'm a very intense person. I overwhelm you a lot.
What does that mean?
I just pick at you.
Yes. Pick at me.
And then you get overwhelmed. And then like when you start getting like really agitated, I know to just like stop talking. Like just stop talking.
Yeah.
That's like, other than me overwhelming you, there's nothing like I've never seen you get overwhelmed or depressed or sad or defeated by a situation. Whereas me, that's like every minute I'm like that. Like I'm a very sensitive being.
You're very sensitive, but I think you're sensitive in so many ways, and I think that's made you so good at what you do. I mean, you're sensitive to foods, you're sensitive to smells. I mean, you can smell things that are, other people don't smell for hours, and then they're like, "Oh, what's that smell?"
It's like, dude, I've been telling you about this for 6 hours. It's a major problem.
Same with noises and things like that. So I think you're very, that makes you also good at what you do, right? Because you can tell if you eat a certain food what your body does with it pretty much right away. Other people can't do that. And that also gives you that ability to then do research based on that and then share all that stuff with everybody and help others. So I think you're very in tune. So, and it goes also to the environment around you. So if there's a stressor, then I think it gets to you pretty quickly.
And like constant. Yeah. Like it whereas you're like, just enjoy it. And I'm like, I just can't. Like I don't have that ability. It's really challenging for me. But you're really good at helping me through it when I'm like crying on the floor.
Thank you. What did that answer the question?
Yeah, okay. I think it did. How do you help each other out of dark places? Like you give me lots of hugs.
A hug is always good.
They are good. Okay, last question. How do you deal with each other's urges to cheat? I think that means like food cheating, because like, do you have the same urges to cheat or do you have different temptations, and how do you deal with them and how do you help each other overcome them? I think they mean food, hopefully. Because
I guess if we don't talk about food, then it would be something like I guess maybe food too. Be like, I go out for lunch instead of eating home.
I don't really see it as cheating. Like, it's not like we're like, oh, we're going to be bad and go to the store and do all the bad things. Like, we went to Whole Foods.
That's true.
Yesterday.
But sometimes you or I do that individually and don't tell somebody else.
I rarely go out and eat random food without you. When did I do that?
I don't know what rarely means. I don't know, when I find things in the car.
Like what?
I don't know. Like
chocolate?
Yeah. There you go.
Well, that's keto.
And it's always so bitter.
Yeah, that's keto.
Whatever happened to Lakanto chocolate?
Oh, it's good stuff. I think for me, I don't really eat out on my own like in that way because of eating disorder stuff. Like if I'm going to treat myself to something, I want to treat myself around other people and just like enjoy that social aspect. I don't like to like go to a place by myself and sit in the car and eat it. That's super triggering for me. So I don't even do it.
It's also not fun.
It's also not fun. It's just like eating garbage that I don't like. I'd rather eat quote unquote garbage food with other people because then it's like awesome. But if I'm eating
it's a social thing. You couple that activity of eating garbage in quotation marks with being with other people or me.
Yeah, but like I don't really see like the question is how do we deal with each other's urges to cheat? I mean, our relationship is about so much more than food and our bodies that like that's not really a problem for us. Like we don't have urges to cheat. Like yesterday we were both exhausted and we hadn't like had me time, like us time. And like, I don't even know when the last time was that we just hung out. So we went to Whole Foods. We got like a bunch of snacks and we came back here and we put them on the bed and we just watched Ozark and just like ate snacks, and they weren't keto.
And I think just in general for that question is we try to communicate as much as possible.
Yeah.
In our philosophies, we talk about how we see things. And I think it's just that it goes back to having that fundamental same values of what's right and wrong and being very logical about everything. And I think if Leanne would be like, secretly go out to eat fries or whatever, or, then I'd be fine with it because I think I trust Leanne, whatever you want to do. I don't know what's how I look at it. I think it's just a relationship thing, really.
Yeah, totally. Cool.
It's like when you order pillows and don't tell me.
I love pillows.
Or you don't even tell me. They just like there's a new pillow on the bed.
It took him like 2 weeks to discover that there was another pillow on the bed.
Yeah, because there's so many. It's hard to keep track.
I just love pillows. They make me so happy.
But they're not practical.
They're so great.
Like that one
no, baby.
It's the one that's all fuzzy and then gets on my fingers. and I never don't like scrub my hands.
But it's so fuzzy. Yeah. It's right here. It feels like a dog. It's cute. Anything to add about our love anniversary other than you love me and you need to love me more?
What? You need to love me more? Is that what you said?
I love you.
No, I love you.
Thanks for listening to the Keto Diet Podcast. Join us again in a couple of days to discover more keto for women secrets for your fat-fueled life. The Keto Diet Podcast, including show notes and links, provides information in respect to healthy living, recipes, nutrition, and diet, and is intended for informational purposes only. The information provided is not a substitute for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, nor is it to be construed as such. We cannot guarantee that the information provided on the Keto Diet Podcast reflects the most up-to-date medical research. Information is provided without any representations or warranties of any kind. Please consult a qualified physician for medical advice and always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding your health and nutrition program.